Welcome back, my friends, to southern China. Yes, as you can see by the sign behind me, Shenzhen, as usual, typical. Today I have a couple things I want to share with you guys. The first is, I've made videos in the past year, a couple times, kind of talking about the Chinese economy, how I feel it's doing. I've said it's not been that great, but I do want to share, feels like things are starting to pick up a little bit, and I want to share a couple things here at this mall and one other mall. The other thing I want to do today is take you to a NIO House, which I've taken you to before, if you've been with this channel. And I want to check in on the rumors on the internet that the NIO houses and the NIO shops are all basically sold out of NIO vehicles. That's what we're going to do today. First, we're going to walk through this mall and talk about the economy a little bit and show you what malls are actually like in China right now. So let's go do that. The first thing I need to say is this is backwards, but it's Huayuancheng, which means basically Garden City. And so that's this mall. It's an older mall, and it actually was very, I would argue, very dead a few years ago. Definitely during COVID, of course. But even probably before that, it's kind of an older mall and not that exciting. But China has been doing a lot of things to their malls, especially the malls that have good management. And that is, they have been changing their malls from, shopping experiences, which, as we all know, shopping can be done online these days. You don't really need to come here to buy clothes or to buy whatever else. You can buy groceries. You don't need to go to the grocery store. So what they've been doing is they've been changing everything to experiential things and food and experiences. So the first thing we got right here is a magic ice rink, which is where you can come ice skating. There's one thing I want to note, by the way, while we're here, is that it is actually a weekday, and it is before noon. It's 11:50. I'm not here to show you like how busy the mall is or anything like that. I just want to show you what the malls are like now. So first floor, we walk in, we got an ice rink. Quite small, but it's better than probably whatever used to be here, which was probably a pop-up clothing shop or something. And then as we keep on going further down, you're gonna see a really big play area for children. And not only do we have this really big play area for children here, I'm gonna take you up and you're gonna see a lot of stuff for kids. Chinese parents, of course, love their kids. They spoil their kids and they want to give them cool experiences. I'm not gonna try to film the kids. As always, I don't really think that's necessarily appropriate. It's kind of weird. But you can see a big ball pit, slides, all that kind of stuff right here on the ground floor of the mall. Of course, we have Cha Tan Ting, Hong Kong style restaurant, Cantonese restaurant. And of course we have milk teas and Starbucks and all that stuff. Starbucks is right here. So while we're going upstairs to look at more experiential type of activities, let's talk about what's going on with the economy. Discounts galore. Even Starbucks is getting into discounts. They'll send push notifications and coupons to your phone if you have the app. Starbucks coffee, usually about 36 RMB, 30 RMB, depending on what you get, for a coffee in China. Competitors like Luckin and Kadi and Manor, they give coffee for 10, 15 RMB, so much cheaper. So Starbucks is kind of getting their face kicked in, right? They're kind of getting destroyed out here. I'm sure their sales are still okay, they're still good. But the problem is lots of competition, really good competition for really cheap. And so now Starbucks is on the discount train too. They are trying to make their products more competitive price-wise. All right. So here we have this massive arcade. You probably think arcades are dead, but not in China. Arcades are alive and well. Lots of claw machine, lots of push the coin off the ledge machine for prizes. I don't know, not the most exciting of things for me, but kids love it. If you come here, oh, it's so loud, I'll get out of here. If you were to come here after school or on a weekend, it would be absolutely insane. Okay, here's another thing we got here. Super Cat Space. You probably guess what that is. This is a kind of like a cat cafe, except there's no beverages. It's just a bunch of cats. You pay 29 RMB On a weekday, let's go look at the price. On a weekday, 1 hour, 29 RMB. That's a few bucks. On a holiday, weekend, 39 RMB for an hour per person. And you get a monthly pass, 10 times, 200 RMB, about 30 bucks. Anyway, you just come in here, you play with the cats. They give you lots of toys you can play with the cats. Like, I don't have cats, I'm not a cat guy, but the little thing you can, I guess it's like a feather. Pretend you're a mouse or a bird, I guess, because mice don't have feathers. So yeah, that's that. So we've got giant ball pit and slide, we've got arcade, and we've got cat experience. When we started too, I don't know if you guys noticed, I'll put it up on the screen right here, but there's a big rock wall as well. So lots of stuff for people, for things to do. So obviously we still have lots of shops. There are still clothing shops. But you come to this mall, or any mall really in China, honestly, most shops are quite empty, even when it's busy here. But the experiential activities will be very, very packed and very, very busy. So if you're watching this channel, you probably already know about like the car price wars going on in China. All the cars, basically from Tesla to BYD to GAC Ion, everything across the board have been discounted very, very heavily. BMW, Audi, Porsche, everything. Everything except NIO. NIO basically doesn't do discounts or price cuts. They do incentives. And people have, been worried about it. How is NIO going to compete if they don't do price cuts? But recently there have been a lot of rumors on the internet that NIO sales have really taken off because of their incentive-based approach and because their cars are good, of course. So we are going to go to NIO later. But I just want to say it's not just cars that are doing the discounts or incentives, just like it's not just Starbucks that's doing it as well. Everywhere you go, every shop, you can get good deals on Dazhong Dianping, basically like Yelp in China. You can do Tuango, it's like group buying. I don't know if it's actually a group buy or not, but here we go. So we're on the other side of the mall now. We have yet another arcade, and this one is also very, very big and crazy. They have this really cool like Xbox Connect or VR style game right here. There's me. I see kids playing this all the time when I come here. And then of course, another massive fun like McDonald's Playland area. Slides over there, tubes to go through, giant funnel here. All kinds of crazy stuff, right? If you come here on the weekend, this whole area right here, just completely overrun with children. It's insane. So we have a hair cutter for little kids right here, as you can see. Lots of stuff for people's kids. Karate dojo here for the kids. This one, I'm not even sure what it is. It's for sports for children over there. Also Gymboree, which we all probably know what that is. We even have this VR game room right here. You can do one of these weird roller coaster things. So that's the main thing I want to share with you as I'm here at this mall. It's just that malls in China, they have to compete. They have to compete with online shopping, right? So what they've done, what vendors, what business people, entrepreneurs have done, is they've totally changed the idea of the mall. It's probably happening in other countries as well. But even an old mall like this one, which is legitimately was really, really dead a couple years ago. Horribly, like I would come here because there's a ramen shop here. I used to like, I think it's this one actually. I haven't ate there in a long time, but it would always be completely dead. And there was all these shops that were, closed up, basically boarded up, and they've changed to, been renovated now. There's customers here now. Obviously, look, more stuff for kids. You can drive those cars around the mall. You can take this train around the mall. Again, it looks empty simply because right now is a weekday and it's right now at noon. Exactly, 11:57. It is noon, so it's not gonna be that crowded. We even have gacha machines, gachapon, just like Japan. It's like, people always say Chinese people hate Japanese people, but they love their culture. I'm gonna tell you what, they love Japanese anime, Japanese food, Japanese gacha, anything Japanese, they love it. Japanese people, not so much. But that's changing, that's definitely changing. Younger generations, not so anti-Japan, I think. It's just the older people that love to watch the Japanese or the Chinese dramas, Chinese movies on TV about how the Japanese all get killed in the war. They love it. So right in front of us, we're back on the ground floor here. We have a BYD dealership, and there are absolutely 0 customers in there currently, just a few staff. So that's that for this mall, for Garden City. We're gonna go to another mall with a NIO House, and we're gonna see A, how busy that mall is, and B, how busy NIO is, and see if they actually are sold out of cars, if those rumors are true. I really feel like the Chinese economy has started to pick up, and I'll tell you another reason why. I feel that because I was just in Yunnan actually, and there were so many tourists, like an insane number of tourists. Everything was so crowded. And they're all domestic tourists, of course, not many foreigners still. So I see that in a province that's yet known for tourism, but also, you know, a poorer province than Guangdong, which is here. Everything was packed, totally packed. And then you come back to Guangdong province, and of course, car sales are picking up. You see malls are so busy compared to before. And yeah, just everything feels a lot more lively than it used to. As always, construction still ongoing, never stops. Check out that tan line, white foot, brown leg. That's from walking in Japan. All right, here we go. If I was playing my Ben Dan character, I'd say those birds you're hearing are not real. These trees and this grass are not real. But actually, today I'm Eric, and it is real. It's shocking to me, truly shocking. Okay, people, I just rode the Dianpingcha, the scooter, about 10 minutes. It is now 12:12 in the afternoon. I'm in a different mall. You know, it's not so far away, but it's a little bit slightly more affluent part of town, I would say. Still in the same district, but slightly nicer. And this mall has a NIO House, which I've taken you to before. So we're gonna go in and see what's going on in a slightly nicer mall, slightly nicer part of town, ever so slightly, and see how it compares to that one BYD shop we just saw, see if there's anybody shopping for a NIO, and talk more about the economy actually while we're in here. So this mall is called All City. Again, backwards, All City. Baoneng, Taigucheng or something like that. All City. So here's Gaga. Oh, my lady Gaga mama. Here's the Kudo coffee, like I said, and Manor coffee. Okay, so Manor is very cheap, and it can be even cheaper if you bring your own cup, which is great. So I don't use a paper cup or plastic anything when I do go to Manor. I bring my reusable cup and get 5 kwai discount. So Americano becomes 10 kwai, which again compared to Starbucks is like 30 kwai. How do they compete? And it's good coffee. And Kudo is like a really popular chain here. I think, I know they're started in Shenzhen. I think they may have expanded to other cities, but they have a lot of shops in Shenzhen now. And they have good coffee and also cheaper than Starbucks. So here we are in the mall. It's still noon on a weekday. It is now 12:14 in the PM. And again, not much going on in the mall because of the time, of course. Let's go see the NIO House. It should be in this mall actually has 2 buildings, Ichi, Archie. I think I'm in the right one. If not, I'm sorry, I could take you to the other one. As you can see, all the shops are open. They're not boarded up except for this big one right over here. Probably about a year ago, maybe even 6 months ago, a lot of malls had half the shops coming soon. But yeah, now most things are back in business. Yeah, and here's the NIO House right over here. Let's see, looks like they have cars. What do they have? They have an ES6. Oh, not too many cars. Usually they have 5 cars in here. They have an ES6, an ES8, and they have an ET5 Touring. No ET7. Ni hao, ni hao. So I'm up here at the NIO House. Again, it is now 12:40 in the afternoon. We have 1 table here with 3 ladies, 2 people at the coffee bar, and at the other table way back there we have a few people working. So hey, it's actually not completely empty. And downstairs we also had 1 customer in there looking at buying a car. We also had a couple that came and took coffee away, takeaway. And so, you know, not the busiest of NIO houses as usual, but not so bad either considering the time of day. So that was an interesting little experience there. I talked to the sales guy and he said they will definitely sell more than 20,000 cars this month. He said, no problem. They're not gonna hit 25,000, they're not gonna hit 30,000. So Mr. P, by the way, if you don't follow Mr. P, go follow him. If you don't follow our podcast, go follow that as well, because we do have a podcast about NIO Blue Sky coming. There's a link in the description. We talk every week about NIO and about electric cars in China. Anyway, so long story short is they should have more cars on display in there, but they don't because they're selling very well currently. And the ET7 that is on display is the executive brand new ET7 with the screens, with the 21-inch wheels, with whatever other bonuses you get. If you piece it all out, it's quite a bit more expensive, but you can buy it as like, I think it's called executive ET7, and it's like 458,000 RMB. And that was their display model, and it sold. He said, currently in Shenzhen, the sales numbers are like this: ET5, ET5T, ES6, and then ET7. So right now he says ET7 is basically the third best-selling car, or fourth if you want to combine the ET5s, or maybe fifth if you want to combine the EC6 and ES6. But he said the ET7 is selling better than the EC6, at least currently this month and here in this city. I don't know, we haven't seen the numbers. I haven't seen the numbers anyway. So that's that. And as far as the entire economy goes here in China, oh, let's go look, here's an EC6 right over here. Old school one, like mine and like Mr. P's. As far as the economy goes here, like I said, I feel like things are looking up. I know there's a lot of talk about deflation, and I don't really know how that affects everything. I'm not an economist. I know for me, things are cheaper. Things are, generally speaking, going out to eat, coffee, cars, of course. Lots of things are cheaper than they used to be, and that has definitely encouraged people to go out and spend money. I can see that. I can see new shops opening all the time, whereas they used to be empty for a long time. I can see people going out again. Restaurants gotta wait in line sometimes at dinner time, whereas even, I would say 6 months ago, never really had to wait at all. So things are changing. Yeah, things are picking up, it seems. So that's exciting for China. What car is this over here? I can't tell. Oh, it's a Luxeed. Luxeed is collaboration between who and who, I forget. Maybe Baidu and Chang'an, I don't know. Looks pretty cool. Never see those. Very rare. Interesting. I forget who's the collaboration. Oh, Qirei is Cherry. Cherry and somebody. Comment if you know who Luxeed is a collaboration with. All right, that was fun. 回家, go home.